Hi, this is Kelly Brown, and today we are going to talk about mail merging mailing labels. So that means that we have an Excel spreadsheet in place with the information of addresses that we want to have appear on a Word document as mailing labels that we can print out on labels and send out. Okay, so to do that, again, we have Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel working together. The Excel worksheet that has that data must be ready to go before we start our mail merge. And when I say must, I'd say it's best practice. It doesn't absolutely have to happen, but it's really great when your Excel worksheet is all ready to go. So I'm going to let you see my sample Excel worksheet. I've labeled it addresses, and you will see that I have a last name, first name, address, city, state, and zip. Those are the fields that I would need, or column headers that I would need in order to create mailing labels. Now this came from a bigger Excel worksheet that had other columns in it. It had a grade and a gender and a teacher column, but those are columns I do not need for a mail merge, so I hid them. And I hid them by clicking on column C for grade, holding my left mouse button down and dragging over to column D for gender, since I don't need either of those columns. Right-clicking over the column letters, going down the task pane to the second to last choice, and clicking on hide. Now you see that those columns are no longer visible. I can get them back. They're not deleted. I just don't need them right now. I'm going to do the same thing for teacher. I'm going to select the teacher column, column I, by clicking on the letter I, then right-clicking over the letter I, going to the task pane to the second to last choice, clicking on hide. And now that column is hidden as well. So here I have the columns that I need for mailing label information. You'll notice that last name is in front of first name. The order of the columns is not that important right now because we're going to place the columns where we want them in the Word document. So I have this ready to go. I'm going to click Save because I made a change. Now I'm going to open up a blank Word document. You see the default name is Document 1. And to do a mail merge, I always go to the Mailings tab in the ribbon. Here's the ribbon at the very top. And here's the Mailings tab. I click on Mailings. Then I go to the ribbon towards the left. I see a button here called Start Mail Merge. I click on that button. I go to the very last choice that says Step-by-Step Mail Merge Wizard. For the purpose of this video, I am using the wizard. You could do this by clicking on certain buttons here, but you would have to know the process in order to use them. Because the assumption is you may not be familiar with mail merges, I suggest just going through the wizard, because the wizard is going to take you step by step by step through everything you need to do to be successful in creating your mail merge. So we're clicking on Step-by-Step Mail Merge Wizard. When I click on that, you'll see a Mail Merge panel appears on the right-hand side of your Word document. If you just read it from top to bottom and follow the step-by-step instructions, you will be successful in your mail merge. So we start here at the very top. It says Select Document Type. What type of document are you working on? The default will be letters, but that's not quite right for what we want to do. Then there's a choice for email messages, then envelopes, then it says labels, and that's what we want to do. So we're going to check the labels option. Then right below it, it says Print Address Labels for a Group Mailing. Click Next to continue, telling us what to do step by step. We click on Next, and we still see a blank document. We go back up to the top and read, Select Starting Document. How do you want to set up your mailing labels? Use the current document, change the document layout, or start the existing document. Well, Microsoft already knows that we need to change the document layout because this document layout doesn't accommodate for labels. We need to get the label formatting designated in our document. To do that, right below here it says Change Document Layout. Click Label Options to choose a label size. So we're going to click on Label Options, and you see a window appear. And because I've done labels before, I see Avery US Letter here, but if you have never done labels before, that is not probably what you see next to label vendors. You probably see Microsoft, and Microsoft doesn't help you with label formatting. Most everyone is familiar with the Avery box, and inside the Avery box we want to click on Avery US Letter. And then we see on the Avery box we usually have a number on the box, and that number corresponds to what the label formatting is. Is it 6 on a page, or 8 labels on a page, or 10 labels on a page? All that corresponds to the Avery box number. And so we're going to look for that Avery box number over here, and it is in numerical order. So I'm going to go down here to 5810. Say my Avery box says 5810. And I say, okay, that's the size of my labels. Over here it's telling me what the dimensions are, so I could double check. Height 1 inch with 2.63. If I really wanted to get funky, I could click on details, and over here it shows me the dimensions, the exact dimensions of my labels, but here it says numbers across and number down. So if it's 3 across and 10 down, I know there's 30 labels to a page, so I know if I'm on the right track. But the main thing is to make sure that you select the correct number that corresponds with the Avery box that you're using. I click OK, and now I see the formation of my labels. Again, if you have never done labels before, you may not be seeing these grid lines here. You might just be seeing a blank page. So in order to see those grid lines, when you're inside one of the label boxes here, this Table Tools contextual tab will appear in your ribbon. It's a contextual tab because it only appears when a table is created on your document. I'm going to go over to the Layout sub-tab over here, Layout, click on Layout, and to the far left you see grid lines, View Grid Lines. If this were unchecked, you would see a blank page, and that might be what you see if you've never done labels before. So you want to be sure to go to Table Tools Contextual tab, click on the Layout sub-tab, go to the far left of your ribbon and click on View Grid Lines, and then you will see the placement of your labels on your page. Okay, so since we've got our labels options okay, we're next going to click on Next Select Recipients. So this is where we attach the Excel document to our Word document. We click on Browse here, and we go designate the Excel worksheet that we want to use with our Word document here. These are the worksheet labels, which are they appear in the bottom left of your Excel worksheet. We want labels here. That's the name of ours. The first row of data column headers should be checked. It should be checked as a default. If it is not, be sure to check it. And we'll see a preview of that Excel worksheet that we used, and we can see, is it the right one that we want, and it is, so we're okay. We click OK, and now in a lot of the labels except the first one, we see Next Record. That's what Microsoft knows it needs to do in order to go from row of data, next record, row of data, next record, no row of data, next record, so that it appears in our labels correctly. But we want to place our cursor in that very first label that does not have any data, because we're going to tell Microsoft what we want our labels to look like. It says right here, it says Select Recipients, which you already have. We have our Excel worksheets file name there. Then it says click Next Arrange Labels. That's what we need to do. And because we're doing mailing labels, Microsoft has provided an address block for us as an option, which inserts formatted address. It will format the address for us based on what column headers we have in our Microsoft Excel document. So I'm going to click on Address Block, and here is the data that is Microsoft thinks we want based on our Excel worksheet. And we can preview a few of them. So it's showing me the first record in our Excel worksheet, but I can click here to see the second one, third one, fourth one, and they all seem to be formatted correctly. If there was a problem, I would look down here where it says Correct Problems. If items in your address block are missing or out of order, use match fields to identify the correct address elements from your mailing list. I would click on this Match Fields button right here, and it's showing me why our address block came up correctly. Because this is the address fields that Microsoft was looking for, and these are the address fields that were actually in our Excel document. And as you can see, they match very closely. So Microsoft had no problem knowing which column headers to put where in our document. But if there was a problem, I would go in here, click in the drop down arrow next to where the Excel worksheet column header is, and if it was incorrect, I would choose the one that was correct, and that's how I can make those corrections. Okay, but since we're all okay, we're going to click OK in the bottom right corner. We see address block, but it appears only in the very first cell. We have to make sure that it appears throughout our document. So what we need to do is replicate labels. On the right hand side it's telling us replicate labels. You can copy the layout of the first label to the other labels on the page by clicking the button below. The button below says update all labels. If I click update all labels, you will see that now address block appears in every other label on our page. So we're good to go. Okay, so now the next step, it says is preview your labels. So we're going to click on preview your labels, and we see some labels here, and we have our preview here. We can go back, we can go forward. Again, we can see if everybody's okay. It looks like everybody's okay. So now I'm going to go down, and it says when you have finished previewing your labels, click next. We're going to click next here and go up. Sorry. Here are all our labels. You'll see we have a new, well, they're all here. And to actually be ready to create our new document with the labels, we don't ever really want to click on print from here, because it will go to the printer, and if we have a lot of labels, it may jam the printer. Things may not be quite right. I always encourage you to click edit individual labels, so you have a last chance to make sure everything's absolutely okay before you send it to the printer. So we click edit individual labels. It's asked us, do we want to merge all the records? And we do, so we click OK. And you'll see now we have a brand new document here. This is not the document that we use for the mail merge. It created a brand new document that has our labels. The file name is labels1, and we scroll down and we see everything's okay, and we have now completed our labels. So this is the document that I would now send to the printer to with our correct labels inside the printer, and we'd be ready to go. And that's how you do a mail merge for mailing labels.